The night was darker than usual, the kind of darkness that made every tree look like a shadow waiting to move. Ethan, a single dad in his mid-30s, was driving back from his late-night shift. His daughter, Mia, was asleep in the back seat of the old pickup truck, hugging her worn-out teddy bear. The roads were empty, only the hum of the engine breaking the silence of the night. Ethan was used to this routine, working 2 jobs, being both mother and father, and doing everything possible to give Mia a life better than the one he had. As he passed the stretch of road near the edge of the forest, his headlights caught something unusual. He almost missed it, but a faint shimmer of white fabric swinging in the trees forced him to slam the brakes. His heart skipped a beat. For a moment, he thought it might be an abandoned mannequin or some cruel prank. But then he heard it, a muffled sound, weak and trembling. Ethan's hands shook as he stepped out of the truck. The night air was icy, and the silence around him carried a strange heaviness. He grabbed the flashlight from under his seat and pointed it toward the movement in the trees. His chest tightened at what he saw. A young woman was hanging by her arms, tied with thick ropes, her feet barely touching the ground. Her face was swollen, streaked with dirt and tears. A crude sign was nailed to the tree near her head, painted in bold, angry letters, "White man don't forgive." Ethan froze. He looked around quickly, half expecting to see whoever did this lurking in the shadows. But there was nothing, just the echo of his own breathing. The woman's lips moved. She was whispering something, too weak to raise her voice. "Help, please." The desperation in her tone jolted him into action. He ran back to the truck, checked that Mia was still asleep, and then grabbed the small toolkit he always kept under the seat. His hands trembled as he pulled out a pocketknife and hurried back to the woman. "Stay still," Ethan whispered, trying to sound calm even though fear gripped him. "I'm going to get you down." She looked at him with wide, terrified eyes, as if unsure whether to trust him. Ethan carefully cut the ropes, starting with her wrists. The moment the tension released, her body slumped forward, and he caught her before she could fall face first into the dirt. She was lighter than he expected, her breath shallow, her body shaking violently. "Please," she whispered again, her voice raspy. "Don't let them find me." Ethan's pulse quickened. Whoever had done this could still be nearby. He glanced at the sign again, feeling the weight of its message. Someone wanted to send a warning. Someone dangerous. "Don't worry," he whispered, lifting her carefully into his arms. "You're safe now." He carried her to the truck, opening the passenger's side door as quietly as possible. Mia stirred in the back seat but didn't wake. Ethan placed the woman gently on the seat, buckled her in, and started the engine. He didn't know who she was or what she had gotten into, but he knew one thing: he couldn't just leave her there. As the truck rolled down the empty road, the woman's breathing grew steadier. Ethan glanced at her again and noticed her clothing, expensive fabric torn at the seams, a once white blouse stained with mud and blood. There was a faint shimmer of jewelry at her wrist, something that screamed wealth. "Who are you?" Ethan asked softly, keeping his eyes on the road. She hesitated before answering, her voice fragile. Claire Morgan." The name stirred something in Ethan's memory. He had seen it on a news headline not too long ago. Claire Morgan, one of the youngest CEOs in the country, leading Morgan Enterprises. She was a woman who symbolized power, success, and influence. Yet here she was, sitting, broken in his truck, barely able to keep her eyes open. Ethan's mind raced. Why would anyone do this to her? And why the sign? "You're going to be okay, Claire," he reassured her, though he wasn't sure himself. "I'll get you to the hospital." "No," she croaked suddenly, her eyes snapping open in panic. "Not the hospital. They'll find me there. Please, not yet." Her words unsettled him. If she was this afraid, then whoever was after her had more reach than he could imagine. He swallowed hard and took a sharp turn onto a smaller road, heading toward his small, isolated cabin on the outskirts of town. When they arrived, he carried her inside, laying her on the couch. Mia woke up then, rubbing her eyes, confused by the sight of the strange woman. "Daddy, who is she?" Mia asked softly. "Someone who needs our help," Ethan replied, brushing Mia's hair from her face. "Go to your room, sweetheart. I'll explain later." Mia nodded sleepily and disappeared into her room. Ethan returned to Claire, who was now half conscious. He fetched a bowl of warm water and a cloth, gently cleaning the dirt and blood from her face. She winced but didn't resist. "You should rest," he whispered. But before she drifted off, her trembling hand caught his wrist. Her eyes, though heavy, burned with a mix of fear and determination. They tried to silence me, she said. My company uncovered something dangerous. They didn't want it to go public. So they came for me. Ethan felt a chill crawl down his spine. He wanted to ask more, but her strength gave out, and she passed out completely. That night, Ethan sat by the window, shotgun in his lap, staring into the woods. He knew he had just stepped into something far bigger than himself. But looking at Claire's broken body and remembering the sign nailed to that tree, he also knew he couldn't back out now. The morning came quietly, with fog blanketing the forest. Claire was still asleep, but her breathing was stronger. Mia tiptoed around the cabin, whispering questions Ethan didn't have answers to. Ethan stepped outside, scanning the tree line. His gut told him this wasn't over. Whoever left that sign wasn't done. And now, whether he liked it or not, he was part of this war. For the first time in years, Ethan felt the weight of something greater than his own struggles. He wasn't just a single dad anymore, he was the protector of a woman who held secrets powerful enough to make men hang her from a tree. And deep down, he knew this was just the beginning of a storm that could destroy them all.